Okay, we're going to talk about the table boxes really quickly. This is your table box here, and the table boxes are full of supplies that you will need most of the time. For the most part, you will need these supplies. These are also the supplies you can use during your free draw time. You have one box of colored pencils for the whole table, so that will have to be shared for the whole table. You have one box of regular pencils. Please make sure that the regular pencils and the colored pencils do not get mixed up. When you're done with the regular pencil, put it back. You each get an eraser. Please make sure that these erasers stay in the art room and that they don't go back to the classroom with you. There are 21 other students that sit at your seat over the course of the week. So 21 other students need that eraser too. You also have one box of glue sticks, 2 boxes of crayons, a box of scissors, and 2 boxes of markers. Now all of these boxes need to be put away, all of the supplies in the boxes, just like this. This is how I want your boxes, your tubs, to look at the beginning and end of each class period. The boxes will go on top of your table paper. This table paper is different on each table. They tell me which colored table group you are at. Then there are also these shapes. So this person over here will be sitting at the square seat, the trapezoid seat, the triangle seat, and the circle seat. That way I can tell you, okay, I want all of the circles to wash out the paintbrushes, all of the squares to throw away the trash, that sort of thing for cleanup. Let's talk about when you paint at your table. When you paint at your table, if your table is set up long way, then you're going to have side by side. If your table is set up or not long way, the old way, then you'll be doing corner partners. If you're not doing corner partners, you just set it in the middle, put your water right there, brushes in the cup, and you share with your neighbor partner. When it's time to clean up, each person will have a different job. All right, let's talk about cleaning out your paints when you're done painting, and your cup and your brushes. First, let's start with cleaning out the cup. When your cup gets dirty, what you need to do is you need to clean it out. Now, as you can see, water only comes up a little bit. There's a little line there, and the water only goes that far. And that way, your cup is a no-spill cup. When you're ready to wash it out, don't try to take this off. Instead, put it in the drain, tip it towards the spout, turn the water on full blast for about 10 seconds. As you can see, the water starts to clear out pretty quick. So the nice clean water is in there, and you pour it all out, and what's left is enough for you to do your painting, but it's still a no-spill cup. Now let's talk about your brushes. Brushes, you turn on the water, you roll it around in your hand, work out all the paint by just rolling it around in your hand like that. Turn the water off, put it in the basket to dry. Now, as for your palette, do not just run it under the water. That's very wasteful of the paint and of the water. Instead, you're going to get a sponge, and you're going to wet the sponge, squeeze out the extra water, and wipe away all that yucky paint. Just like that. Then, rinse out the sponge, squeeze it out. Be sure you turn off the water so you don't waste water. There we go. Now see, that corner was the only corner used, so I could use the opposite corner for the next one. And then I could maybe even use this corner for the orange. Rinse it out. The yellow and the white are the trickiest to get clean. So with the white, you want to make sure that it's really cleaned out, that your sponge is really cleaned out. There you go. It looks great. Then you put it back in the painting rack, in the paint rack, and leave it to dry. Make sure that your sponge gets washed out. Wipe off the sink if you need to. Get that sink nice and clean. Make sure that your cup gets put back in the cup tub, and then you've cleaned up your painting area. Okay, we're going to talk about sharpening a pencil in the art room. We use a manual pencil sharpener, and this is the way that the manual pencil sharpener should look. If it's off like this, it means somebody's been messing with it while standing in line, which you really should not be doing. But if it is like this, you just put it back on, you kind of twist it, and you twist it up there, and it'll fit right back on. Okay? Now, the way this works is it has some holes here, and you see right here it says standard, and that's the hole that needs to be lined up. Sometimes people play and twist this by pushing this down, push this thing down and then twist it, and just make sure that the one that says standard lines up with the hole itself. Okay? So this should be on. Check to make sure it's on standard. Now you're going to put your pencil in there, and unlike a mechanical pencil, you are not going to push it in really hard. Instead, you're just going to hold it in place so that it doesn't move. Then you're going to spin this about 10 times. All right, and if it's not quite sharp, 2 or 3 more times. And then it's a nice sharp pencil. That's all there is to it. Now sometimes it won't work. If this is full, you just untwist it, and you can see the pencil shavings in there, and you would just dump those out. Or maybe some lead got caught in there, and you would just spin it with this not being in there, or being on there. Twist it back on so it's in its correct position, and then try again. Again, you just push it, or you just put it in there. Don't push it in hard. Don't try to push it in there too hard. Just hold it still so it doesn't twist on you like that or fall out. Holding it in place. Okay, so that one didn't sharpen quite as quickly as the other one, so we'll just go back. And there we go, nice sharp pencil. In the back of my room are a bunch of books. They are books about art, and they are also books for free drawing. Now, these books are for you to use after you have finished your project and cleaned up. In 2 of the boxes I have books about art and artists, and so these are for you just to look through and enjoy. In the other boxes I have books for you to learn about how to and practice your drawing skills. So when you come back here, you'll get a book, find a book, whether it be a drawing book or an art book. If you get a drawing book, then you can get a scrap of paper in this drawer, and you may only get 1 scrap of paper at a time. Okay? And you'll work on 1 drawing at a time, and close the drawer, take your book, and sit down back at your seat. Okay, now that you have your free draw book, you may use your scrap of paper to do a free drawing. Now let's talk about this for a second. This does not mean you open it up, you lay your paper over it, and you trace that. There are directions in these free draw books to teach you how to draw. So that's the important part about these free draw books, is to follow the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you may use any of the supplies in your box. Now I would suggest you start off with a pencil and your eraser, because when you're learning how to draw, you might use your eraser just about as much as you use your pencil. And I am going to draw this frog. Step 1. Oh, now see, I don't like how those eyes are different, so I use my eraser. And I continue to follow the steps given to me. Okay, now that I've finished this, that drawing's fine. It's fine, but what you need to do is you need to do so much more with this. This is just to show you how to draw your frog. Now what are you going to do? So you need to go ahead and put your frog in an environment. And then color it in. Your free drawing should be fully colored in if you have time to do so. Then color your free drawing in, and your free drawing is time for you to create a full extra drawing. And there you've got a full free drawing done right there. Now it's not as amazing as your projects because it's not supposed to be. It's just a free drawing, something you do in your spare time in art. Be sure you put all of your supplies away. Your free drawing goes home with you, and the book goes back in the box you got it from.